The finisher of my last bantamweight fight before I started eating meat again and moved up to a proper weight class. So I'm going to attack the guillotine, and while he's hand fighting, I'm going to sneak my leg over and get to a triangle position. So I think I just had the neck gripped off the takedown he got, but we'll just do like a basic guillotine setup just for the sake of the video. So George just got his hands on my hips. I'm just going to quickly palm them to the mat, go for a hip bump. Boom. I want to still get some reaction out of him, whether he's basing or whatever. So if like I'm going for the hip bump, he bases, that allows me to wrap the neck. Very important detail here, I don't just wrap the neck and fall back here, because I've just put myself in a shit position. I wrap the neck, I'm grabbing the chin, and I come through to my other hip. The triangle is if he starts hand fighting straight away. If he doesn't get the hand fight straight away, I can just finish like an arm in guillotine, like crunching through. I can switch my grip through, get high elbow. There's all sorts of stuff. But it's just like, especially when people are sweaty and you're tired, just a simple bit of hand fighting can cause you fucking tons of problems on your guillotine. Like literally just his fingers being in there, I can have the grip solid, try as hard as I want, and I'm not going to finish that choke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my other hand that's through to get a bit of control over here and climb this leg up a little bit further. I don't leave this down here because then it's going to be a nightmare actually locking up any sort of diamond guard or grip. So I'm going to grab this, climb this other leg up, and then bring this leg over. Then I'm going to lock in like some people call it diamond guard position, or like a more closer to a reverse triangle position here. When I'm here, it is crucially important to be pinching my knees together and flexing my heels into his back. If, like, it's something you can't really see while you're watching it, but if my legs are just here, George can just put his hand back in, he can just posture up, and everything's gone. So when I'm here, I'm pinching and flexing down. Now, George, try and put your hand back into the grip. You can't, there's no space here. George, try and posture up. You can't, he's posturing up against my weight. So it's going to be a real problem for him. I power this up with a grip of his head. So now I have real control of his posture. There's not a lot he can do here. I'm going to use my right hand to grab my shin. I'm going to put my foot on his hip and I'm going to angle out. See how when I've angled out, I've made it very easy for me to lock in this full triangle here. So I'm just going to kick my leg over and I'm just going to flex through here. I've got to dorsiflex my feet. That is the sports science term for lifting your feet up backwards. That is hugely important in jiu-jitsu. Like there's so many movements in jiu-jitsu, body triangles, holding hooks, holding mount, holding all sorts that require a strong dorsiflexion. If you're trying to triangle a guy with your feet like this, like no matter how hard I try and squeeze with my feet like that, it's like pulling the head and everything, it's not going to work. I flex my feet in and I want to be creating pressure going this way, so I'm pinching my knees and flexing my feet. You can pull the back of the head, but that is not an essential part of it. That is a power up. If all of your triangles require you to pull the back of the head, that probably means that you're doing the triangle wrong somewhere. The pulling the back of the head is only a power up. Like, don't get me wrong, like when I finished Declan Williams, I pulled the back of his head because I just needed that power up, my legs were tired, all that kind of stuff. But the triangle is a pinching choke, yeah? Like his carotid arteries are in this little V and you're just pinching it together. If I want to clear his arm across, I can do it now by lifting my hips and dropping it back into the space, yeah? So I can't just push his arm through my body, but if I lift my hips, his arm, even if he's trying to like bar his arm across my hip, it's still not as strong as me just dropping my body weight back on it and crunching my knees in. So he's got this bar across my hip, I've lifted my hips up. I've just got to be careful here. So like when I'm lifting my hips, I'm not being lazy with my legs and letting him insert his hand back in. I'm still keeping a good pinch when I've lifted my hips, making that very difficult, dropping his arm right across. So one more time. I'm here, his hands are on my hips. I get him to the mat. I go for a hip bump. Boom, he has to base. I wrap the neck and switch my hips and lock my feet here. I'll make an honest attempt at going for the arm in guillotine first, forcing him to hand fight. When he hand fights, this arm that's underneath gets control. This leg, comes up a little bit higher. This leg comes up. I get this diamond guard, I pinch my knees together, I lift the hip, shoot the arm across, keeping control of his posture the whole time, making sure I'm flexing and pinching so George can't, even if my hands aren't on his head, George can't lift his posture up, he can't get this other hand in, and he can't even get this arm back now. I don't have to do anything with my arms, but that arm is stuck, that's mine. I'll grab, I go to my shin, foot on the hip, turn the angle a little bit, come round, flexing my feet. Like I've really got to be trying to put my toes into my shins almost. Like flexing my feet as strong as I can. I like to turn my heel outwards towards the, just away from his body. I feel it tightens the triangle up a little bit. And I'm going to pinch my knees together. I don't necessarily need to pull the back of his head to finish it, but it does power it up, especially if you've got long legs, just because it makes the actual triangle shape smaller for him. From here, yeah.